Two local derbies at the weekend, including at Mansfield Park it was Hawick against Melrose, but here at Riverside Park in Jedburgh it's Jedforest against Kelso in Premier 2. Welcome to Borders Rugby Roundup, and let's begin with Premier 1 down at Mansfield Park. A big day for Hawick. Only 4 games remaining to try and avoid relegation. They were taking on local rivals Melrose, and Grahame MacGregor was there.
Well, struggling Hawick battled hard at Mansfield Park and turned in a heroic first half performance that had Melrose on the back foot. But any thoughts that Melrose would lie down for their Borders rivals as they fought to retain Division 1 status were rather misplaced, as the Greenyards men upped their game after the turnaround to just about deserve their narrow win. It was a bruising and at times bloody encounter which saw Hawick go all out from the start to take the game to their visitors. Hawick recycled well at times, but poor finishing let them down and tries failed to come their way. But silly mistakes by Melrose allowed Craig Nish to slot 3 penalty goals by the half-hour mark. A try short of the break proved vital for Melrose, however. Prop Stan Williams driven over for Scott White to convert well. With fellow prop Richard Higgins' blood-soaked head bandage, a sign of the commitment up front, Melrose increased their lead with a White penalty goal before Jordan Macy's snap-drop goal ended the scoring. A brave display by Hawick then, but a losing bonus point was poor reward for the effort they put in.
And the boys had done me and Stephen proud. We can't fault them at all. We asked them to give 110% and they gave that and more. And I thought they were superb, the defence, everything. We just couldn't get a big enough lead at half time, and I think it cost us in the end.
I wasn't happy with the overall performance, but the commitment was brilliant today. We sometimes, don't turn up to games like this when we're asked to rough it out. We like to play a lot of rugby, but we did that there. I think we roughed it out when we had to, and probably edged it a little bit in the physicality.
Staying in Premier 1 now, and down at Philip Hawke, Selkirk were trying to extend that unbeaten home run yet again, which dates back to September the 1st, 2007. They were at home to bottom club Stirling County, and Atholl Innes was there.
Selkirk preserved their unbeaten home record, but only just in a tense and frenetic encounter at Philip Hawke. They trailed 17-0 after only 26 minutes to a Stirling side fighting for survival in Premiership 1. They gifted the first try as Craig Dickens charged down Eddie Gouch's kick, and were caught out of position for Ross Aitken to race away for the second. Alan Robertson converted both and kicked a penalty. Gouch made up for his earlier mistake when he was driven over just before the interval, and then Lee Jones shocked Stirling with 2 tries in 5 minutes. Scott Henry converted the second and then kicked the winning penalty with 12 minutes left. But Selkirk had to defend on their own line for the final 5 minutes, as Stirling threw everything but the proverbial kitchen sink at them to retrieve what now looks a lost cause.
Here at Riverside Park it was another local derby. It was Jedforest against Kelso. Earlier in the season at Poynter Park, Kelso got the better of Jed, 20 points to 14. They were out for the double, but Jed were after revenge, and also of course still pushing for a promotion place to Premier 1. There was no shortage of commitment from both sides and plenty of opportunities to throw the ball about. Here's Michael Hartley setting off on a run with an excellent chip and chase, but Jed skipper Ross Goodfellow was back to cover and, as adventurous as ever, was more than happy to counter-attack to earn the applause of the crowd. It was Jed who opened the scoring on 17 minutes though with a Chris Laidlaw penalty, but soon after Michael Tate burst through to score in the corner, evading Seb Trotter's tackle on his way to his 9th try of the season. I mentioned commitment, and how about this tackle from Hartley on Jed's Jamie McCraw? Well worth a second look in slow motion. An interception by Roy McFarlane gave him his first try in the league this season and put Jed in front 10-5 at the break. But Jed's defence continued to be tested in the second half by wave after wave of Kelso attacks. Laidlaw kicked another penalty to make it 13-5, but following more Kelso pressure, Jed were penalised and Utterson was never going to miss from in front of the posts. But still, Kelso came forward, and after cutting down on their error count and improving their discipline in the second half, they gave themselves plenty of chances to score, and they came close on several occasions, including this excellent piece of quick hands, which almost resulted in another try for Michael Tate. And they weren't far off a touchdown when Kevin Utterson went on a wee run, popping the ball up for Willie Barry, who recycled the ball for his teammates to dive over the line. But again, they were denied, referee Andrew Healy judging the ball had been held up. And would you believe it, when another chance came from the scrum, a little knock-on denied them the try, much to the frustration of scrum half Andrew Tate. Jed's reward for some incredible defensive work was a late try. Goodfellow passing to Laidlaw, then Gary Hill out to Seb Trotter, and finally a scoring pass to Roy McFarlane, who ran in for his second try of the match to seal it for Jed.
Obviously another good result for us, coming on the back of last week's hard-fought win. So obviously delighted. 21 points to 8. It sounds like a big margin against Kelso, but it was a tight game again, and we're delighted to come out on the right side.
Really, over the piece, I think we was architect of our own downfall. Maybe too many penalties and too many forced errors on the day. Boys are really disappointed, but on the whole, we played some no bad rugby.
Also in Premier 2, it was Gala against Musselburgh at Netherdale. Laing Speirs went along to watch this one for us.
At half-time, it looked as though Gala were on a 50-pointer. They had taken control of the game right from the off. They scored 6 excellent tries against a very disappointing Musselburgh side. Any lingering doubts there might have been about Gala's safety in Division 2 were quickly blown away. Musselburgh were a poor side on the afternoon. Gala played some of their best rugby of the season. All their tries were well-fashioned, and they were built on strong forward superiority, quick release of the ball, and an excellent game at half-back.
Meanwhile, Peebles won 28-8 away at Aberdeen Grammar and came back from 8-0 down to get 4 valuable points. They scored their first of 3 tries from Donald Sangster. And just before half-time, it was Neil Clark who broke away to dive over and give them a 12-8 cushion at the break. Today was the day that Dan Bortwood became the first Borders player to reach 200 points this season. As well as kicking 2 conversions and 3 penalties, he was also on hand to grab a try to keep the pressure on Stu Mell as they try to get out of Premier 2. Final score, Aberdeen Grammar 8, Peebles 28. In the National League First Division, there were wins for Langham and Berwick, Langham getting ever closer to promotion place with games in hand. While in National League 2, Hawick YM slipped up at Whitecraigs, and it'll be an uphill task now for them to gain promotion. In the East Leagues, there were victories for Hawick Harlequins, Duns and Hawick Lindeen, who are still unbeaten in Division 1. And Gala YM and St Boswell's got victories in Division 2. Full details, as always, at our website. Now for something a little bit different, because at Mansfield Park on Saturday, Hawick Rugby Club were obviously taking on Melrose. We heard all about that earlier. But before the game, they announced they were trying to become the greenest club in the world. Murray Watson from Hawick explains.
Today we have announced that we are going to investigate and build micro hydro power from the River Teviot. We're going to investigate a biomass heating system to provide heating for local houses and businesses. The idea behind this is twofold, and that is to find a new sustainable source of income for the club, and secondly, to cut carbon emissions, because we here at the club and all our neighbours in Hawick suffered from very serious floods in 2005, and these were caused in part by climate change. So we are the Greens, the Green Machine, and we want to do something about it.
Well, that's it for this week. Join us again next Monday for Borders Rugby Roundup.